Everyday Life with Guardsmares, Chapter 9. A plain round clock hung on the wall of their shared living room, tick-tocking its way past midnight. Corporal Honor Bound, given that she had the morning shift tomorrow, was up way past her bedtime. But Glamour Spear's story about Spark Shower being taken out to a show by her newly acquired Salt Lick, the Royal Engineer, was beyond belief. And she needed to find out what was going on for herself. The pink gossip herself was up too, lounging on the sofa and reading another fashion magazine, Pride Bazaar. She said that she wanted to see if Spark Shower would return at all, or if she would wind up spending the night with her VIP downstairs. In her own faux scandalized but obviously amused words,
"If Spark's back the boss this quickly, then maybe she's the kind of mare to buck on the first night too."
However, Spark Shower didn't strike the Earth Pony as a typical saltine. Not like Glamour Spear, who seemed to fully embrace the role. It takes one to know, though, and Glamour Spear certainly seemed convinced, but she wondered if the unicorn wasn't perhaps projecting onto the Pegasus. If this was true, then so be it. Didn't really concern her either way. Based on the play schedule published in the Thursday edition of the Canterlot Star, the Royal Engineer and his escort ought to be returning to the castle right about then. Assuming that he hadn't taken her for some kind of afters, of course.
"I'm telling you, Corporal, it'll be 1 in the morning and they won't be back yet, believe me."
Glamour Spear clearly had her own ideas about their schedule and itinerary. Honor barely lifted her eyes from the book in her hooves. Her professed indifference did nothing to temper Glamour Spear's insistent curiosity. She laid her magazine down on her chest and put one hoof up to her lips.
I wonder if she had to lead him into it at all. I guess I've only met him twice, but I've got a good sense for these things, and I never got the sense that he was even interested in ponies that way.
Honor wouldn't dignify that train of thought with an answer. She just prayed to Celestia that some pony come to deliver her from the foolishness of young Guardsmares. Just then, she made out the sound of hoofsteps on the carpet outside. Glamour Spear must have heard them too, because she jerked her head towards the door, a look of excited anticipation on her face. Slowly, the door handle turned, and then the door opened inward. Specialist Spark Shower cautiously poked her head into the room, and seemed surprised to see them both there.
"Oh, hello. I wasn't sure if you two might have been asleep, so I didn't want to wake any pony up."
She abandoned her attempt at stealth and stepped right in, still dressed in her cotillion ball gown with its puffed sleeves. It was outdated, just as Glamour Spear said, but not so far out of style that it would be embarrassing. Most certainly not at the theater. As soon as the Pegasus shut the door behind her, the unicorn launched right into the questions.
"So, how'd it go?"
Patience was clearly not one of her virtues. But the object of her questioning didn't seem to mind her vice at all, because Spark Shower's face exploded into a smile like the fantasy was starting all over again.
"It was amazing! Oh my gosh, the costumes, the orchestra singing, it was all perfect! And the story was great! Yeah? And how are the seats? Oh my goodness, the seats!"
There was a vaguely disturbing chain reaction of enthusiasm going over at the sofa.
"Okay, so when we got to the theater, the codes in the box office said that the main floor and mezzanine were sold out. All they had left were the balcony and boxes, so Anonymous decided to get us box seats!"
Glamour Spear pumped her hoof like she was working a cash register.
"Nice! Big spender ka-ching! And did he take you out for dinner too?"
Spark Shower covered her mouth and giggled like it was a silly question. Honor was not yet convinced one way or the other about the nature of the evening's escapades, and the giggle could have meant anything.
"Oh no, I've already had dinner when I ran into you here before I got dressed."
Glamour Spear scrunched up her face as if the evening had just been ruined.
"Oh, he didn't buy you dinner? What a cheapskate."
Spark Shower was still grinning with her mouth, but her laugh in reply seemed a bit forced. Suddenly, Glamour Spear's face lit up.
"Actually, wait, no, that's brilliant, Sparks. I see it now."
She tapped her hoof against her temple.
"Colts can't tell you're thirsty if you don't let them lead you to water."
Spark Shower still looked like she was forcing the smile a bit.
"You've really got this down pat, Sparks. I'm impressed. But we've got to get you a new outfit before your next evening out, using Anonymous's bits, of course."
With that, the forced smile was gone.
"Wait, what? Why would... I mean, granted, he was very generous tonight buying me a box seat, but why would he have to buy me a new dress?"
It was Glamour Spear's turn to laugh.
"Oh, Sparks, you poor innocent young mare."
She put one hoof on Spark Shower's shoulder, but the Pegasus was left bewildered.
"The game isn't just about fancy nights out. Not for the ones that you want to hold on to, at least. You're worth so much more. And our proper culture know how to treat a lady, after all."
Spark Shower shook her head, brow furrowed.
I'm sorry, Glamour Spear, you've lost me. I'm not sure what we're talking about anymore.
Glamour Spear removed her hoof and laughed even harder.
Oh, come on, Sparks! I'm talking about the game! You're a player, aren't you?
It had gotten to the point where the mare in the dress was rubbing her own shoulder uncomfortably.
I don't think so. What game?
Honor's pink and cyan unicorn took a step back, raising her voice and lifting up her forehooves in exasperation.
Oh, come on, you know! The game! Some wealthy so-and-so has a partner, but wants a little fun on the side, no strings attached. Or maybe a certain VIP has needs that they need serviced, but are looking for a commitment. So along comes a bodyguard, one of Equestria's finest, swishing their tail with that won't-ask-won't-tell attitude. So the wealthy pony buys a few gifts for the guard, takes him out for a dinner and a show, and they have some fun together, and mum's the word, wink wink nudge nudge.
Sparkshower looked horrified, but Glamour Spear still seemed to think that it all must be a joke, and she got right in the Pegasus's face about it.
Oh, come on. You can't tell me that you didn't know.
Sparkshower's eyes darted left and right like she was looking for a way out, but there was no escaping reality.
But I didn't know. Tornadoes and hurricanes.
Glamour Spear had just had her mind blown, while Sparkshower had just started to pant uncomfortably.
You're serious? You seriously didn't know? Why else do pretty young things like us even sign up for VIP duty in the first place? Except for the perk of being able to play the game, whether with its our assigned VIP or any other high-placed pony else we happen to meet, what is there even to this bum job? It's just a dumping ground for tired old grumps who are fed up with a regular guard life.
Honor took a little offense to that last pronouncement, but she had to admit that Lily wasn't wrong. Meanwhile, Sparkshower seemed to be on the verge of tears.
But I didn't know! I have a co-friend in Barry!
As Sparkshower moved to cover her face with her hooves, Glamour Spear arched her eyebrows and laughed off that last statement like it was the most ridiculous thing in Equestria.
Mare, please! You're in the game now, Philly! And you bagged a big one. The Royal Engineer has got bits for days. What more could you possibly want? You've hit the jackpot.
No longer on the verge, Sparkshower was actually crying. In between sniffles, she uncovered her face and looked up at Glamour Spear with a miserable expression on her face and shouted out her reply.
I'm not some horse for sale like you! Oh. Fuck.
Glamour Spear looked like she had just been slapped across the snout. Hard. But Sparkshower just sat down, put her face in her hooves, and started to bawl her eyes out right then and there. Conversation over. Speechless, the unicorn took a step back, and finding no words worth saying or actions worth taking, furrowed her brow and sulked off to her bedroom, walking right around the sobbing Pegasus and closing the door behind her. Moments later, Sparkshower, still blubbering, got to her hooves and scurried into her own room. In the brief moment where her face was uncovered, Honor could see that her eyes were shot red, and that the hair on her muzzle was soaked with tears. Even with the door closed, she could still hear the Pegasus's muffled lamentations. With a sigh, Honor replaced her mark and shut the book in front of her, and placed it on the side table. It was time for some rather unpleasant work. At this point, many of us knew it. Some of that stuff just piling on more and more, it would eventually lead to just a blow-up like this. I will admit though, when Sparkshower called Glamour Spear a whore, I couldn't help but smile at that. Anyways, let's get on to our supreme donators. Top donators: Dash of Evergreen, Peter Coulthard, J Tinman, Darkside, and Ponyman. Courier Crucii, Strix, Zar630, Narwhals, Delta Omega, RuneScythe9852, Dospo, Rhiny Dragonwolf, Hunter Norman, Austin Roland, Secret Moon, Tall Rasha, The Toilet Snake, Sword Brethren Mordred, Cerberus, Gulash Eating Hazar, Ronin Wandering, Endrai63, Random Person Man Guy, Easy, Jack Cadge, Starlight Glimmer, Squiddy Boy, David E. Sanchez, Soul Dragon, Gaggy, Trey, Shadow Drake, Geo Piercy, Alex F, Rainbow Dash, Tilka Anderson, TV Killer, John Becker, Leon Reynolds, Raven Speedster, Zach Krakau, Mr. ECU, Leslie Prickett, Edgar Garcia, One Kingdom 1, Neza Rusan, Vizuri, Dyslexic Character Sheets, and Just a Random Boy. Thank you all very much for watching this video, and live life to the fullest.